welcome to the 102nd ever episode of the Dex Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm
Jimmy.
Pokkén, and I'm Jimmy. Oh my gosh, I forgot.
You guys are crazy.
I forgot. I forgot.
I've always
He's
been the second one.
He's always been the second.
He's always been the second.
Let's do it again. Ready?
I'm Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Pokkén.
Feel better now?
I do.
You feel like your
I do. I'm sorry.
world has come
It's
together?
okay.
Welcome to the official podcast of the Dex on YouTube. We're a Pokemon squad. We, I don't know. What do you call us? Like a group?
We're
team?
we're a team.
Pokemon
We're a
team?
team.
Pokemon YouTubers.
We're trainers.
We make Pokemon.
Yeah, we
Stuff.
make Pokemon.
We invent.
We're Pokemon.
I made the game Pokemon.
fans.
No, I didn't. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Shout out to the Friday peeps. Shout out to the Saturday peeps. Hashtag peeps.
Yeah, I'm cool.
I was gonna put like two. I was gonna be like, yo, like the Friday peeps, like hashtag Fridays, Saturday peeps, hashtag Saturdays.
We did
but-
that last time.
What?
We did that last time.
Yeah, I mean,
You can't reuse the
all right,
hashtags.
so everybody just tweet at me with hashtag peeps, and you get bonus points if you send me a picture of a peep, like the gross
Oh.
Easter candy.
It'll be hard to find. They're not around.
Yeah, I just want a picture.
Yeah, if you do that though, no cheating, no googling.
Yeah.
You gotta.
You have to include yourself with the peep,
Yeah, or include like a little
as if
little
it's your child.
a paper that has like the date on it or
Yeah,
something.
or dab next to the peep,
Dab next
so
to
that
the
we
peep.
know that the era is appropriate.
Hashtag dab next to the peep.
Yeah.
Very dumb.
Wow. All right. So, in case you haven't guessed yet, this podcast is all about Pokemon. And
I haven't guessed.
Yeah. So before we get into the stuff we do every week, how was everybody's Pokemon week? What did you guys do this week that had to do with Pokemon?
Ooh.
I finally got to talk about Pokemon Go publicly because it's technically out now.
Yeah.
Yay.
How's
Guys,
that?
Jimmy was part of the beta.
I was part of the beta.
Ugh.
We had the ability to be in the beta, and then it was like closed like one day later.
Yeah.
So like
It's
whatever.
I have not tried the full version out, but I really wish they would have spent more time on this game.
It seems a little simplified right now. It feels like they're still not 100% committed to it, right? Like it feels like yeah, granted, haven't played the final version.
Right.
It's officially out right now in Australia and Japan, not out here yet.
Some people in the US have it.
Some people
I
are
don't know
like
how.
just installing it on their
Yeah.
I think they're just making Australian accounts.
Something like that.
Yeah, like I don't know exactly.
I've seen like a download link that's been like going around.
All right.
But we don't have it yet.
Yeah.
Us three.
Yeah, so I don't know how much the polish has changed.
I have my doubts that it will have gone up.
Right. But I believe that Nintendo and Pokemon will be committed to something of quality. So we'll see what's happening going forward. It seems like they already have plans to release more Pokemon as time goes on.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
So we'll see. What else do you guys do? How into Pokemon Go did you get?
Not very much because
Total
don't know.
hours played?
total hours played.
Well, it's not really like that, I know. But
No, it like hours spent like looking at the game and like working on it, maybe like 4 or 5. I didn't play too much, but like for what it is, it's fun, but it definitely feels far and away from like
a Pokemon game.
a Pokemon game or like a quality of like a Nintendo or a Pokemon company.
Mm.
Like, gosh, like the music for just walking around is like
Not good.
some kid's SoundCloud version of the battle theme from Gen 1. It's
Damn.
like really not good.
Oh man.
Well, we'll see.
Like-
We'll see what happens. I'm trying to be like positive about it.
It's not bad. I want to stress that if you're gonna pick up Pokemon Go, if you plan on grabbing it, keep your expectations low and you'll be satisfied.
I really was hoping that the infrastructure would be matched by the software, and it doesn't seem like it's there yet. But hopefully, I think hopefully by the next time we meet, we'll have had the game and played it pretty extensively.
Yeah, I got an update on it on my phone, so I probably have the full version now.
Do you have to start over?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Like, if I do, no big deal, because, like, again, I didn't play it very much,
Right.
but I'm going to lose my Electrode named Diedrich.
Aw.
And then immediately you're going to catch another one and name it Diedrich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dude, I don't know how many people out there are as excited about this as I am, but I keep remembering that I'm going to meet Dev.
Oh, yeah, CoxCon.
Yeah, at CoxCon. And I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to find out the measure of a man.
By the way, I don't think we've officially announced it yet, but me and Alex are going to CoxCon, which is in London. So if you're one of our listeners in Europe and want to drive slightly less far than a continent.
Well, the problem is CoxCon is completely sold out.
Oh.
So if you're
already attending,
what's up? If you aren't already attending, scalp that.
hashtag scalp that.
Scalp that. All
Hashtag-
on the flow.
But I'm excited. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I've never been to London.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to go to London. What have you been doing?
As far as Pokemon related stuff, not too much.
Getting new stuff?
No, but I did bring my stuff to the office today. My back.
The Ditto Chew?
Yeah.
The Ditto Chew is great.
In Indianapolis, a very kind fan gave us a Ditto Pikachu. What is it? A pillow?
It's like a couch pillow.
It's like a little pillow, and it's Pikachu's head shape and face, but it's got Ditto's face. Very, very cute. I love it.
I can't believe it
actually.
exists.
It's
I love
very
that.
cute.
I love that. That's the stuff that they're like, we got to make this.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah. For
But
me,
I've been trying to complete Fantasy Life 100%. I'm getting close.
For me, the one thing that I did that was super hype this weekend was that I watched a bunch of nationals.
Oh,
I got,
yeah.
really hype in nationals. But we'll talk a little bit more about nationals in a minute.
Yeah.
But man, it was great. I mean, we're gonna get really deep into nationals, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But I was very satisfied with my viewing experience. All the casters were really great. Shout outs to Aaron.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Jay Witz. Shout outs to
Shady
who else
Penguin.
did Shady Penguin did some stuff. I didn't really see him though.
Probably. Did you watch VGC?
I did, but he wasn't really casting the finals day.
D1 was on.
Ray Rizzo crushed it.
D1
D1
was commenting Pokkén.
He was great at it too.
D1 may or may not be the best commentator of all time, but
he's like the hero that Smash needs. Basically, yeah, he's perfect.
That's why he's commentating Melee, Smash 4, and Pokkén right now, because all of those communities need a commentator that good.
Yeah, great stuff. And I've also been just playing VGC a lot. I've been working on my team a little bit. I have a little bit of an unconventional strategy, but after watching some pros, it's well, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But that's it for us. So let's check in with the world in this week's version of the news.
You're
You know
a
what happened?
cartoon man.
You know what happened in my head immediately?
What?
It was. Have you ever played Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
You sounded like the goal sound.
Woo!
Yeah. And then.
Oh my
That's
God,
funny.
that's a great song.
It is a good song.
Damn. All right. It's the news. Pokemon news.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Let's jump in. Speaking of the news, Red Rescue Team, Blue Rescue Team, and Explorers of Sky are available in the Wii U eShop now.
Cool.
This is weird though. $7.99 for Red Rescue Team, or $9.99 for Blue Rescue Team and a Pokemon Explorers of Sky. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Why would you pay $2 less for the red version? That's weird.
Maybe because it's easier to get.
No, if they're gonna do digital,
That'd be BS.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Blue has a longer title. Is there anything different about it?
There's
Is it a
Red
sequel?
Rescue. There's 3 games: Blue
Oh.
Blue Rescue Team, Red Rescue Team, and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. So those are just 3 totally different Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Blue and Red are Blue and Red, but
right, but so that's weird.
yeah, I don't know why that is. If that's true, weird. If it's not, maybe it was misreported in the news.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who knows?
keep an eye out.
Yeah. I guess
guess.
it's $2, and if you really want to play it, that's not going to stop you. But
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just unusual.
it's just weird because they're the same. It's like if red version was
yeah,
cheaper than blue version.
yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like
That
Vulpix.
actually is if red version was cheaper than blue.
I guess these are both red and blue. But I mean, just Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue are not nearly different.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, the Pokemon 20 Shaman is now available.
Oh.
You can go log into your game, get Shaman. Shaman's great. You can get him until July 24th.
Over Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you just go online and grab them. It has Seed Flare, Aromatherapy, Substitute, and Energy Ball, which are all great moves.
Mhm.
And then it holds a Mickleberry, which I've never heard of before.
I've heard of Mickleberry because it reminds me of Michael Barrity. who does the
Fancers guy?
Fancer Stinger.
Fancers, man.
He's the Fancers
but
guy.
I can't remember what it does either. I don't think it does anything that I've like used in battle before.
Skyform Shaman is the cutest dog in Pokemon right now.
He's cute. I thought he was more like a deer,
You think he's a deer?
like a deer kid.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like a pre-Evo of Virizion.
Yeah. I see that.
I think he's like a scarf dog,
Scarf pup.
like Zygarde 10%.
He's like a cute little like pup deer.
Yeah,
Pup deer.
Puppadeer.
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 That's a new Pokemon.
That's
We just made a Pokemon.
Bog.
Bog.
Rock. What is it? Rock dog.
Rockweiler.
Boulder dog.
Boulder dog. Yeah, Boulder dog's the good one. All right. Yeah. So get your shaman. But speaking of the 20s of July, on July 20th, the Pokkén arcade games. Now, these are the arcade games are going to be updated to add Braixen, Garchomp, and Shadow Mewtwo, who has been dominating everything still. Right? He's still the best.
I think. Well, okay. They released a patch 3 weeks ago, Pokkén, that adjusted things. For some reason they didn't adjust the stuff that was kind of like broken about Mewtwo or about Shadow Mewtwo. Not like actually broken like his Infinite that they patched out, but like the stuff that was like a problem they kind of didn't touch, and they like tweaked him in other areas. But
Did they make everybody else better?
there were buffs and nerfs across the board pretty much.
So they're thinking about it. At least.
They adjusted the game, and most of the stuff that I've been watching has been predominantly like Blaziken. Gengar, I think, is the sleeper. He is so technical.
That's what
D1
has been. That's what D1's been saying since the beginning.
Yeah, he's so technical, and has so many aspects that his skill ceiling is just like way up there.
Yeah.
So people are starting to figure him out, and yeah. So not so much Shadow Mewtwo anymore, but definitely still prominent.
But guess what?
What?
That's not even all the news for Pokkén. Yep, because a brand new Pokemon is also going to be added to the machines, which might mean that eventually it'll show up on Wii U as well, right?
It
Hopefully.
would be really weird if they didn't just release a patch.
Right. This Pokemon is going to be announced on July 14th, aka Alex's birthday. So keep your ears up. But we have some insider information on this.
It's
that
just a rumor.
it's just a rumor. But
Is that my stinger? Jimmy's segment. It's just a rumor.
it's just a rumor.
It's just a rumor.
Just me, boo.
No, but Jimmy has some kind of news, so you could consider this somewhat spoilery. So if
Yeah.
you want to skip ahead like 3 minutes or so, just to be safe.
Yeah, there is. None of this is confirmed, and we don't really know what it's about. But with this announcement, you can kind of put two and two together. All right, so spoilery stuff starts right now. Okay, you still here? All right, good.
Ooh.
So
Ooh, it was Bruce Willis.
in the
Darth Vader's Luke's father.
Damn,
in the recent
it was Bruce
in the
Willis.
recent patch, files were added and they were data mined out on the Wii U patch. That we don't know what they are as far as I have read it on
It
it.
seems fairly obvious what the arrangement's going to be to me, at least.
Right,
we'll
but
see.
like we don't know the purpose of these files, but definitely very clearly the files have in their names Caesar, Empoleon, and Darkrai. They name these three Pokemon specifically in those files, those separate files for each.
Now, theoretically, this could literally have nothing to do with this new character.
Right. It could have nothing to do.
It could mean 0.
But it seems to me like Caesar is the obvious choice for a playable.
Yes.
Second place probably goes to Empoleon, but
Mhm.
I think it's going to be Caesar. And then maybe those two are going to be some type of sport
That's
trophies or whatever they're called.
That's what I'm speculating. I think that's what a lot of people are speculating. I mean, don't get your hopes too high because literally that can be like, oh, we want to put some new background characters
Right.
in like, spice up some levels. Well, I don't know why they'd put Darkrai to spice up a level. Maybe
Right.
that ghost pun, but I think that level's already pretty good.
Yeah.
But long story short, there is a potential that Caesar could be the new playable character, which will launch me fully headfirst back into Pokkén, and I'm going to win Evo
That's
next
all.
year.
Do you think that's all it takes?
I mean, come on, he loves Caesar.
I know.
Caesar
that.
is like actually was my favorite Pokemon until Scrafty.
We were all super hyped for Pokkén though, and then like Jimmy kind of was like the torchbearer, and then even Jimmy, like I feel like even your enthusiasm is sort of like
It
waned a bit. Let's say.
just that mostly fell to we're not done spoiler yet, but That mostly fell to like I couldn't make it out to Wednesday night fights every week, but going to Wednesday night fights kept my enthusiasm up. Like having a scene made it better because playing online is like kind of whatever.
It's never the great. It, like even in like Street Fighter, it sucks.
Right. Yeah. And so like if my schedule works out to where I can go to more tournaments, I want to go back to Wednesday night fights. Yeah, if that works out, then I'll get back into it. And if this new character is Caesar or Scrafty, I will definitely get back into it. At least for a spell, you know?
Right. Like I'll play it. I want to play it more.
Yeah.
I like the game. It's hard. It's just like hard to like get excited about a game when no one that I know plays it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so keep hype for that, I guess.
Hype.
I am. I'm not trying to say I'm not hyped for Pokkén. That game is good.
Yeah.
I just, it remains to be seen what's going to happen.
Right.
And it's my birthday, so I'm very touchy about it. Just kidding.
Very silly.
I am the person who cares the least about his birthday of anyone that I know. I one time forgot my own birthday.
Dang.
On Wednesday, Pokemon Go dropped in Japan and Australia. That's today for us now, which is crazy. As of the gathering of this news, it's not been out here. I just tried right before logging in. I mean, right before starting the podcast, and it still takes me to this game called Catch Me.
No, Catch Aim.
Catch him.
Catch
Oh,
Aim.
Catch Him.
It's Catch
With the
but
E
then accent mark is on the E in
Catch Him.
So it's Catch Aim.
Catch Him.
Catch him.
So we haven't had a chance to play it yet, but it'll probably be out, hopefully, by the time you read this, and if not, maybe by the next week. Hashtag Blue Team. Let's go.
Oh,
I'm also
calling
blue team.
it out.
Let's go. Blue Team.
Blue team for sure.
Blue Team all day.
We all blue teams?
We're all blue team.
The deck's going to be on the Blue Team.
Dude, not that anybody's going to be able to find our office just by saying there's a gym near enough to our office to like be at, like in at least last when I played. But there's a gym close enough to our office to like use the gym from the office. If we're all blue team, we're just going to fortify the actual heck out of that.
It is going to be the hardest to beat gym
Yeah.
of all.
It's literally going to be a gym run by Pokemon Masters.
By all three of the team of the decks.
Yeah, the deck squad. The Pokemon crew.
The Dex cast.
So you're
That's
playing
what we are.
I popped it open because I was curious if the update just worked for me.
I'm gonna
this
check.
Professor is super trendy.
I'm gonna check one more time. Nope. Catch M.
Catch
I'm
him.
gonna check Niantic to see if it's
Music does sound better. I'll give them that. Like
maybe it was just placeholder music.
That's possible.
if it was all placeholder stuff and the game looks a lot better, fantastic. I still think it needs
Right. There's still changes that need to be made.
like I would have said wait 3 months, give that game such a solid start that people can play it until you make new stuff. Because I feel like people are gonna peter out pretty quick on the 151.
Dude, Miitomo was like a polished ass
gosh.
experience, and nobody uses it anymore.
Miitomo.
I think it just like filtered down to like children now, but I don't know.
Miitomo
I was so
died
in.
so quickly.
It was like I was so in it though. Like, weren't you in it? Like,
no,
I was in it.
didn't touch it.
Oh man, I played it like hard for like 2 weeks, and then I was just out instantly.
As far
100 to 0.
yeah, that's Miitomo took over Twitter for 3 days and then I never saw it again.
It's great. It's just like there's nothing to do. It's not. I mean, it's not a game really. It's more like a social network that's like really cute, but like that's not something that's gonna fly in America, I think, as well as it is in Japan. But that's okay. I'm getting sidetracked. Point is, be on the blue team if you're in Australia or Japan, or you get Pokemon Go by the time this comes out. So we spoke about a special shiny Gardevoir giveaway for Volcanion and the Ingenious Magearna, the movie. But
Terrible name.
another giveaway event was also announced. Is it replacing the Gardevoir?
No, it's in addition to.
Okay, so
it happens right after the Gardevoir event happens.
great. So yeah, right after the Gardevoir event, it's a shiny Gengar event
Ooh.
that's also happening. And I'll remind you that Mega Gengar
Shout out
is white when it's shiny.
Gengar.
Yeah, and it comes holding Gengarite, and it's modeled after the one that a trainer named Jarvis uses in the movie. It's a Japan-only distribution.
Whoa.
It's because I was trying to say like distribution, and then I started saying Japan at the same time.
Japan.
Homework of the day: try and say distribution in Japan at the same time.
Okay. Tweet it at us. Vine it to us.
But that happens July 15th at 7-Elevens in Japan, and I haven't been to Japan but everybody who goes to Japan tells me that 7-Elevens are
All the
like
rage.
really great in
Yeah.
Japan. So I don't know.
They're like supermarkets there, aren't they?
Yes.
That's great.
I mean,
Like they're not like, a block. They're not like a huge market, but they're like,
they're just clean and they're not like a shady place where you buy food that kills you really fast.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Questionable use of the word food in that sense.
One time I was at a 7-Eleven on State College in Fullerton,
Mm-hmm.
and or maybe it's Imperial, I don't know. But I was at the 7-Eleven. I was hungry. It was the middle of the night, and I tried to buy some taquitos from 7-Eleven, and the guy refused to give them to me.
Why?
He said that they were too gross and that I would get sick.
So he just like had them out because he had to have them out, but he was like, I'm not going to give you this.
He was like, I'm telling you right now, you don't want that. Go buy something in a package.
you don't want to sell me any death sticks.
Yeah. You want to buy these death sticks.
I wonder how old they were.
I don't even want to think about it.
To be
I wonder
fair,
if they'd been out for like a
Have
couple
you
days.
ever?
had the taquitos there? I've had specific ones. There was two that I
I've
did.
had the pizza. That's it.
I did there's like a jalapeno cream cheese one. It was like a roller.
Yeah.
And then there was also like a chicken and cheese one.
Out of
They're
10?
both like pretty okay.
Out of 10?
Oh god, out of 10. Well, rated how? Like as just on the entire spectrum of food?
Yes.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Like 0.4.
Come on, you don't know. Have you?
Well, I mean, like
Don't
out
sell
of the
'em short.
entire
Don't
spectrum
sell 'em
of
sh-
food, when
don't
you get
sell 'em
like
short.
food that's like as good as like
All right,
In-N-Out
let's say on the
burger.
scale
I'd say-
of rollers. Let's say on the scale of rollers.
Of rollers specifically,
Just like crappy food like that.
like a 5 on rollers.
So
Food
it's
overall, maybe a 3 or
Edible.
less.
Edible.
Edible for sure.
Okay.
Kind of tasty. The consistency of the shell varies from time to time.
Hey, you heard it here first, guys. 7-Eleven. 3 out of 10.
Thanks, Lunchcast.
7/11.
Out of 10.
3/10. All right. The Pokemon U.S. National Championships were streamed all last weekend. They were awesome. I watched them. I watched some of the TCG stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't understand TCG as well as I understand VGC. I've just been out of the meta because I'm too scared of it.
It's not a thing that you can easily just hop in and be like, I understand.
I can, but like I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And every time I get into it, I get like so hype about it that like I want to buy all the cards and
Yeah.
like make
Yeah,
a good deck and everything. And I need
it's
to
not a good road to go down.
I noticed it and I had to distance myself from it. $500 in 1 month I
Oof.
spent on cards. Crazy. That was when I was doing a lot better. That was when I was writing game theory. Just kidding. So, congrats to the TCG winners. In juniors, we had Liam Halliburton, who took it.
Yay!
I wonder if any of these people listen to this.
I don't know.
If you do, just give us a shout.
Yeah.
Just give us a shout. Find me on Twitter. Brady Bourgeois for seniors. I hope that's how I pronounce that. For seniors, which is like the mid-range age
Mhm.
one. And then Nick Robinson for masters.
That's
and that-
like, I'm trying to do like a little,
Like a small air horn far away.
not, maybe. No, one of the little like streamer things where you blow into it and the little curly
Oh,
thing
yeah, yeah.
goes-
Okay. Like a,
Yeah,
yeah,
what
like-
are those called?
what are they called?
I don't
Streamer?
know. I don't know what they're called, but everyone
a
knows
party,
what they are.
A party,
Party favor, just like a little party
favor.
A party,
A party.
a party horn.
A little party zone.
Really an obnoxious device, but
Yeah, they're terrible.
a useful one. So that's the TCG winners. That was some serious stuff. The Night March deck was the one that everybody was talking about.
Mhm.
So that was a good scene.
But
Yeah.
like still, that was even the same from last year. Was a Night March deck.
Yeah, but the meta's a lot different now. So
True.
like it's still. I mean, I don't know.
So it's interesting that it's still Night March.
Yeah, and speaking of changing metas, VGC winners, Enzo Reci for juniors, that kid was cute. He was like, thanks my brother. My brother made my team. I literally have no idea how to make Pokemon teams. Thank you so much. This kid, he was battling great. He was doing like really.
Which is, that's actually an interesting thing, is because I always just expected that all of the players made their own teams, but like, of course they don't, because like you can be just good at battling and not
Yeah.
good at like breeding.
Or not have
So-
the patience for it, or not have,
So that's
Yeah.
like actually, and then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, that is actually a really common thing, is that the people that win the championships,
Oh, I'm
like,
sure.
like have their friends breed them perfect IV Pokemon.
Yeah, like when I had my friend breed me that perfect IV shiny Gengar that guy had. Right?
Well, I mean, we've already spoken about the
Many
legality
times.
of Pokemon.
Many times.
I know. I was just joking. Carson St. Dennis, we saw him. He did the seniors. We saw him win. He was cool. He had a really unconventional. He had a Caesar on his team that was like doing the big damage.
I heard about that.
Oh yeah, that had a lot. That answered Xerneas, like wrecked up Xerneas.
Dude, I mean, yeah, Bullet Punch like rocked that Xerneas' mind away.
What did? I'm just curious because I didn't see the match, but did that Caesar happen to have feint on it?
No, what he was doing was he was just dancing. He was like really smart about like when he was gonna get hit or not, and he just like knew when to dance, and he danced, and he had a danced Caesar and a danced Groudon on it, 2 separate points that were just like crazy town.
Caesar had a 4 times attack boost.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
and then for Masters we had Chase Libert, who really earned that title.
Those 3 they played 3 games, and those were nail biters.
They were
like, who's gonna win? Who's gonna take this?
Really, like the last turn was what it came down to in the last match, and it was
Dang.
like
There was some
hype.
really good battling.
I very much encourage you to go back and watch at least the Masters. All the matches were like hype and good, but that was crazy. I was like screaming at my television by myself in my house.
And it was cool because he was against the guy that got into the tournament from playing the online competitions.
That
Like-
was in
Oh yeah.
yeah. No.
Right?
No. That was in seniors.
Oh, okay. That was seniors. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Seniors was the 2 guys who were friends, right? Who one of them was like top seeded in the like actual like VGC
like tournament,
like whatever it's
brackets.
called, like the mid-season classic or
Right.
whatever. Yeah. But
And
Chase
then the other
Libert,
guy won was the one that won on online stuff.
yeah, Chase Libert
Good job.
really like props for just having like a calm face
Mm.
in the, just like he really kept it together.
Mm.
It was freaking crazy. It was really, I really thought he was gonna lose. It was crazy. Wow. And then the Pokkén winners. We had a question about this on our podcast, which was like seniors versus masters. Seniors is middle, masters it has to do with age.
Yeah.
And there's no junior division for Pokkén, I imagine, because the game is rated teen.
Probably.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's teens, and that was Waylon Lindsay. That's the senior division. And then Christian Patierno for Masters. I didn't get to watch a lot of the Pokkén stuff, at least the finals, but I caught some of it. Great. Game looks really great in a tournament.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to see the finals for Pokkén at EVO.
Mm.
Oh my God. I'm so excited to see those finals. Oh, it's going to be great. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You didn't really watch it, right? You were kind of out of
I
town.
was out at the lake.
What did
Hardly
you
had
think?
Any service.
That was your first time you watched it, right?
What do you mean?
Like live?
No, I watched last year's World Championships live, almost all of them.
What did you think compared? Because I know we watched. Was that Boston? Is that Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good that was a pretty good cast. I felt like there was a little bit like they leveled up their like professionalism this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think like the way that the event was run, it was the biggest event that Pokemon's ever held. The tournament was the biggest one that they've ever held, so that's really awesome. Definitely drummed up a lot of like hype and a lot of like, press for it. I think we'll talk about like the actual breakdown of teams a little bit later on.
Right.
But,
I
like,
mostly just mean like the presentation
the
and the
event
experience
itself
of watching
seemed,
it. Yeah.
seemed awesome. Yeah.
It was really quite nice. I really enjoyed it. I liked like the vibe of everybody at the desks. They had some good like post game stuff with like a screen that had like replays, which was cool. And
Yeah, that
everybody
was cool because the previous champions were
Ray Rizzo
were
and Aaron
like,
Zhang were like chilling out.
like saying like why this move was good or why this was a good choice to do, and that it's really cool to see really experienced players say that because
I just love the
feel that.
idea. I just love the idea of like people watching who maybe don't know. Like I know, like me and you know basically what was happening the whole time, right? We were able to follow
Oh sure.
for sure. But like Derek, our roommate, he's like my cousin, and he's like I played Pokemon with him when we were like 8 or whatever, but like or 10. But like he's not really in it anymore, and he was sitting and he was watching a lot of it, and he was like getting into it too. So it's nice to see somebody watching who doesn't understand the meta, like learning things from somebody who's like explaining it to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool, as opposed to just like jargon during matches, which you don't really have time during matches to like teach. So you just kind of have to call it as you see it and provide color. But it was nice that they're like doing that extra bit. And actually, if you go to Pokemon.com, I know we've talked about this before, but there's some really great like breakdowns and like analysis going on the competitive page on Pokemon.com that they really like they like crunch the numbers every time there's a big tournament online.
Oh, yeah?
They like tell you what everybody's using. They tell you like the strats that are popular right now. It's really like a great resource. So if you're interested in like competitive Pokemon, that's the place to go to find out where you can go to compete. That's the place you can find out what the community's doing. That's where you find out about what events are happening online, where, like what Pokemon you can download. Just go to Pokemon.com. It's pretty good. The global link. You can just register your game with it. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast, because this is a little bit meaty. Because last week we were right about to do the podcast, and literally right after we recorded the podcast, there was like a huge leak, which I ranted about on Twitter a little bit.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of new Pokemon revealed in a trailer. We learned the English names of Iwanko and Nekawala, which are Rock Ruff, which, to be honest, is pretty damn close to what I was saying.
To Boulder Dog?
Yeah, it's getting close to Boulder Dog. And Komala is the name of the koala.
Komala.
We also learned
Koala.
about some more features, which is that riding Pokemon is back. There's a dude riding a Stoutland in one screenshot.
Yo.
Great.
Which is a great Pokemon to ride. It's like Falcor, literally. But there's a bunch of brand new Pokemon as well that we've seen that, let's just go over them. First
Okay.
one's called Charjabug. Looks like a battery. It's the evolved form of Grubbin.
He looks like a little bus.
He literally is just like a rectangular prism with like two little things. He literally looks like a battery. He's bug electric. He's literally called the battery Pokemon. He stores electricity inside that other Pokemon can tap into.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, when we talk about Vikavolt, like, basically, like, they can hold on to him, and like electric type Pokemon can like touch his little prongs and like get like energized.
Well, what I'm saying is, I wonder what that means for like battling. I wonder if there's like double battle strats.
Oh, there is actually. There's something to the effect of he improves the special attack of other electric type Pokemon or
While
something
he's on
like
the
that.
field?
While he's on the field.
And then he's just
improves,
like bulky as hell.
Yeah, he like helps out the partner in some way by increasing special attack.
Man, dude, imagine throwing in a Eviolite Charjabug
Yeah.
with Vikavolt.
That'd be so cool.
Speaking of Vikavolt, let's talk about Vikavolt real
Vikavolt.
quick. We called this. Vikavolt is the final evolution of Grubbin. He's a stag beetle. He's bug electric type. He looks very, very badass.
He's really
And
cool.
he grabs Charjabugs and like flies around with them to just have more electricity power. Really cool. He's
Very
big.
cool.
He looks like a Gundam. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a very cool bug Pokemon. That's like gonna be a great one.
Yeah. And then comes Bruxish,
Bruxish.
which you have here written as a triggerfish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, generically, like a triggerfish is the type of fish. It's like a whole family of fish.
Correct.
Bruxish itself is probably based off of the Huma Huma Nuku Nuku Apua'a, which
Yeah.
is a
It's the state.
fish.
It's the state fish
It's
of
state
Hawaii.
fish of Hawaii, and
Very
you know,
psychedelic looking fish.
the crazy thing is that I tweeted about this, and then everyone was like that song from High School Musical, and I was like, I'm old.
Did you just sing the love theme from Star Wars?
Yes, it was.
That's actually the Cloud City theme, right?
Yeah.
And
It's
I've
the end
even
of
seen High School Musical, and I like High School Musical 3, but it's from High School Musical 2, and it's like a cut song I had no knowledge of, and everyone was like that, I know how to pronounce that, and I was like, I'm glad you do, but I have no idea about this reference.
Hey,
but
raise your hand if you watch the trailer for Star Wars The Force Awakens when the Millennium Falcon is flying around and it plays the Cloud City thong.
Thong?
Thong.
Thong, 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 thong song.
I lost it. I was
It's
gonna.
alright.
It was good. It was a really good moment in Star Wars when that happened.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, Bruxish is based off of Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Apua'a, and it's
Which is
water
a-
psychic type, which is a great type that there aren't enough of. And this is where it gets weird. The sound of its grinding teeth is enough to drive Pokemon away from its habitat, as it signals that Bruxish is using its psychic power. So, I don't know exactly what that means, but it seems to be implying that maybe Bruxish has like a sleeping mechanic to it or something, because when you grind your teeth, you're asleep, right?
No, not
Not
always.
necessarily. Like, it's very common
That
in
is the
things that
thing.
grind their teeth, but I think the main takeaway from it is that, like, triggerfish, like the Huma Huma Nuku Nuku Apua'a, it's a handful to say. You have
fun.
to breathe after it.
It's fun to say.
Triggerfish are known for their teeth. They all have teeth,
Oh, they
and
have,
they
like,
look
literal
like
teeth.
human teeth.
They're like,
And so
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like
that's
pretty,
right.
they're pretty like nightmarish looking. And so I think when Bruxish first came out, everyone was like,
ugh.
ew, but like
He's pretty well designed.
It's my life to try to educate people, and
also Bruxish looks cool.
yeah,
Looks alright.
yeah. Bruxish is cool. It's weird looking, but it's cool, and it is like accurate to
It looks
the
like
actual
it's
fish
like
that is
it
based
looks
off.
like it was like originally drawn to be part of like the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah,
or
kind of,
something.
doesn't
I
it?
don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that's Bruxish. It's great. Go check out. I mean, it's a podcast. We can't really like show you pictures, but yeah.
Google it.
Play along.
Yeah.
Follow
The next
along.
one is called Togedemaru. This one is my favorite.
This one is the best.
It's like another like divergent evolution of Pikachu, basically.
Oh my god, and it is the best.
Yeah,
very
Togedemaru
cute.
is a tiny round hedgehog ball. He has triangular spikes on his body that he can raise to protect itself. Its tail is not actually a tail, but actually a lightning rod that grows directly out of its head, which is hilarious. And its two abilities are lightning rod and iron barbs. So this is an interesting version of Pikachu.
Yeah, and it's electric steel.
Yeah, electric steel,
Oh,
which is a great typing.
Unless
I
you
wanna
don't
go
have
on electric
levitate.
steel.
That's
right.
really bad.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to have that.
Shock me like an electric steel.
An electric steel.
But the cool thing is, from all the Pokemon research, I didn't even have to look up the name to figure out what it meant. Because
Togedemaru?
Toge is like Togepi, which means spike. De is from Dedenne, which means electricity, and Maru is from Meryl, which is round. And so it's literally
Round electric spike
Round
thing.
electric spike.
Yeah. Got him.
Togedemaru.
Yep.
What
Love
its
him.
English name is gonna be?
I think
It's
that might be it.
Togedemaru.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
really?
it. Yeah.
There was no change.
This is in the English trailer.
Oh.
Speaking of names that are extremely English, the next Pokemon is a bug fairy type Pokemon that senses the auras of Pokemon. It said that when a Pokemon is particularly happy or sad, their aura blooms like a flower, and this guy becomes attracted to it. And this thing is called Cutie Fly.
Cutie fly. It is cute.
It is it is damn cute.
It
It's a
looks,
Miski drawing.
You know,
Yeah.
it looks like a little. It looks like it's from a really, really old Disney cartoon.
Yeah, it looks like it's from like Fantasia or
Like
something.
what is it? Merry Melodies.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
exactly. It's like some kind of like one of those cartoons where all the like characters still like move in time to the beat
To the music,
all the
yeah.
time. They're like always like shrugging to the beat. Do 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 do. Cutie Fly. There's a lot of Pokemon in this game where I'm like, oh, that one is a good one. Cutie Fly is one of them. I love Togedemaru. I love Yungoos
Rockruff.
quite a bit. But yeah, Cutie Fly looks great. It's a bug fairy. That's a really interesting typing.
Yeah.
Don't mess with that thing if you are a dark type. Stay away. But
I
also
wonder if it
fighting
evolves.
types, but also grass types, but also it's good typing.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna evolve?
Cutie Fly?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm squarely on the fence. I think it may not evolve.
If it does, I mean, I don't know what type of creature it is.
Mm.
I don't know what that is supposed to be.
Are there any bug types that do not have an evolution line?
Yeah. Pinsir?
Heracross?
It's true.
They have megas, but that's it.
Oh, there's others.
Yeah, there's more.
The two ones that are
Oh.
twins.
Volbeat
that
and
have
Romice?
prankster,
Bad
yeah.
ones. Sorry.
There's others. I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, they typically do evolutions for bugs because bugs are those
like,
creatures that
it's
change
part of their
very
life,
quickly.
yeah. I don't know. I want to learn what Cutie Fly is, and then we can speculate.
It's a
yeah.
bee fly. Did you see it? Did you see the real thing it's based off?
Yes. It
Oh
looks
my god.
exactly like
it looks exactly like it.
I just don't know anything about the science of that
The animal?
creature. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know what the biology is there. And then the best one, Drampa.
Trampa!
This thing, first of all, it's normal dragon type, which is
Tight.
a great type.
Red.
That's like really interesting.
I think the only thing that throws me about Drampa is his eyes. He's like pink circles with like yellow Cheeto puffs above them.
Yeah,
for
let me see it.
eyes.
Let me see it real quick. Yeah, I think he's supposed to look like blind, right? Like he's supposed to look like
He looks kind of like a cave dragon. He looks, I can't remember exactly, but I think it's a Chinese dragon.
yeah. He looks like
Like it.
what? Like I used to do. I used to play Cadence, and I rode a little bit, but it was like dragon boats are. You familiar with
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
They're like long boats that you
Uh-huh.
race, and
Yeah.
like somebody sits on them and bangs a drum.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like the
The front.
The ornament
bit. Yeah, yeah.
on
The
the
head
on the head of a
figurehead.
dragon boat.
True.
And that's not like totally unknown in like Polynesian culture either. That,
Sure.
that type of thing. I don't know about dragons on the boats, but like maybe that's kind of like a thing. I don't know.
Looks like
It's a dragon grandpa.
Yeah.
Drampa.
Grandpa.
It's so cute. I love him.
Grandpa loved communicating with people and other Pokemon, and especially loved children. They're very gentle but very powerful, especially when protecting those they care for. This thing is going on my team, and I'm going to win Evo with it.
Evo.
Does it have legs?
I think he's
fins,
got
right?
legs. Yeah, because in the trailer it shows him like with his arms.
Mhm.
He like does something with his arms, but they're kind of like looks like his arms are like in sleeves.
Oh.
It looks like he's
Oh,
wearing
okay.
like an apothecary's robe from like
yeah, I see
China.
it.
You know what I mean? Like Jackie Chan's dad in Drunken Master, like that
Okay.
kind of.
I wonder if
um,
this one's like a final evolution.
I think he is.
Maybe it'll be like an aging dragon,
I think he's like
like a baby, an adult. And
I
then
think
a
he's like the
grandpa.
high base stat, like 3 evolution.
Oh, like the
Think so.
pseudo legend.
Tyranitar, Dragonite.
Yeah.
I think that's
Wow.
I think that's what he is. I think he's like Gudra.
You think? I think he'd be more like Dredagon.
He reminds me of Lapras.
I can see
Lapras.
Oh, that'd be cool if he's just like kind of like basic stage. I guess Dredagon's the same way. Then there's a really, really like Hawaiian Polynesian sounding one, Tapu Koko,
Mm-hmm.
which also has a great. All these things have great typing. That's the thing. Electric. None of these. Okay, like Water Psychic. We got Bug Electric. We got Electric Steel, Bug Fairy, Normal Dragon, and then Tapu Koko is Electric Fairy.
Oh.
So cool.
Sweet, right?
Yeah.
It's the protector of Mele Mele Island, which is an island for people who aren't ready to move on to Smash 4.
Hey.
And the starting island for Sun. It's the starting island for Sun and Moon. So it's. I believe this is a legendary Pokemon. But
It's the island's protector and considered a deity. It's not confirmed if it's actually a legendary, but it's pretty. It's kind of a big deal.
It seems
Yeah.
like it is. Though it's considered a deity, it's a fickle Pokemon that will only help out a trainer if it likes them. Tapu Koko has a form where he encloses himself in the shields on its arms to store up electricity, and it is also said that it enters this form at other special times, as of yet unannounced. So I believe there's some kind of mechanic that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, I've got a
Probably
feeling
like,
the island protectors are gonna be a big part of the plot.
Yeah.
Probably like Darmanitan deal going on with
Could
this
be,
guy.
could be, yeah. I don't know exactly, but that could
Which
be.
is cool. There were a lot of people that were tweeting at me pictures of like Hawaiian native warriors and this some kind of mask. I don't have my phone on me, or else I would look it up right now.
Sure.
But some kind of mask that looks a lot like Tapu Koko, and then there's some like rooster symbolism when he closes his shields.
Yes.
Yeah.
That he looks like.
Yes, I've seen
As
those.
well.
I've seen those before.
It's really cool. It looks really neat.
I should just go to Hawaii.
Let's
I have like
go.
a bunch of family who lives in Hawaii. Like
Let's go.
I'm
tons.
going in January.
What? Let's all go to Hawaii.
Ooh, let's
You
all
out there, all of you
let's
listening.
crash Jimmy's
let's
Hawaii trip.
Go. Let's all go to Hawaii.
With the wife's side of the family.
Yeah,
You guys can just
hang out with your mother-in-law.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sound like a good time.
hell yeah. Tapu Koko is the only Pokemon that exists that has 2 words, right?
If you don't count Ho-Oh.
Oh, has a dash in it.
Well, are hyphenated last names 2 different words? or
Tapu
one
Koko
word?
doesn't have a hyphen.
Right. it's
Well,
got a
right,
space.
but I'm saying if you count Ho-Oh as 2 words.
Yeah, I
then,
guess.
Trying to think, is there anything else?
Hoot hoot.
Is there like? Well, I guess like
Nah, that's still one
like
word.
Nidoran male,
No,
Yeah.
that's not like his name. It's just his gender.
Mega.
No.
It's unique because
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of Pokemon that are like 2 words.
So I think now we have enough sort of like Pokemon from the new gen to get a flavor,
Mm.
and I'm very in.
I'm on board. They all
Yeah.
look great.
down.
This gen kind of has like a weird like Disneyland flavor to it to me.
A little
Like
bit.
it feels like a lot of the Pokemon look like they could be animatronics,
Mm.
or that they could be. I mean, granted, I'm a little bit biased because of the Tiki Room,
Yeah.
but
definitely.
like, and that's just Hawaii. But like, it just feels kind of like 60s, 70s vibes for me.
Well, I feel like a lot of the
Especially,
charm
like,
of Hawaii
Bruxish.
is that it like really leans hard into that like
Like-
touristy islander kind of feel.
Everybody who's like from Hawaii like probably hates that stuff. But
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't really know. Like, I love going. I when I was in Hawaii last time, I went to like one of those like classic like hotel style luau's,
Uh-huh.
and it was like very charming. But I was like unsure if I should be like offended on the behalf of these cultures. That I just don't know. But I really love how everything's looking, and I'm very excited. But that's it. That's the news. We did it. We made
The
it.
news.
It was a long news.
It was a lot of news.
Yeah. I told you we were gonna do
It's
it.
ramping up. We're getting close to Pokemon time.
We're getting pretty darn close. Pretty darn
close.
close. So do you want to just skip the discussment?
What do you mean?
We're at like 45 minutes already.
Went for a
for
while.
real?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
went for a while.
Wow.
We'll talk about it
we
more.
did a little bit of discussing in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'd
mean,
say
like
let's get the
basically what we
emails.
were going to talk about was like
We were mostly going to talk about like the meta
Yeah.
of last year's stuff versus this year's, but we can talk about it
That
when
disgustment ain't going anywhere.
Well, we can
Yeah.
talk about it when Worlds rolls around, and we'll be there. We'll have been there, you know.
True.
So it'll be.
But let's talk about how every team had a Xerneas, Groudon, and Kyogre.
Well, that was the thing. That was the big issue. Is that like literally they like had like assets in the stream that were like, so the big thing that everybody's doing this year is it's either going to be Groudon and Kyogre, Groudon and Xerneas, or Kyogre and Xerneas, or something like that.
It was just all Groudon, Kyogre, Xerneas.
Because it's like literally like there's only 2 Omega Pokemon, and they're as strong as Megas, right? And they're legendaries.
Yeah.
So it's like either you have one or you don't have one. Why wouldn't you just have one?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yep.
It's rough.
And Scizor.
Scizor, dude, you should watch that match. You'd be
I
like,
will.
oh hell yeah. It was good.
cool.
Tight. So let's just skip the discussment for now. And we'll just for time, and we'll jump into the Fansers segment.
Fansers, da 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 da. Fansers, da 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 da.
Great,
Shouts to Mickleberry.
That's my Mickleberry.
Mickleberry, dude. Get yourself a
your
Mickleberry. I'll be your
Hashtag
Mickleberry.
Mickleberry tea. What
Mickleberry
if you
tea.
made tea out of
tea.
Mickleberries?
Mickleberry
You'd have
Finn.
Mickleberry tea.
Mickleberry Finn.
If you put a bunch of Mickleberries into a shuckle, the berry juice that comes out afterwards would be Mickleberry tea.
Oh,
Berry juice in a shuckle is like still extremely,
It's kind of
it's
weird.
extremely gross to me. What does he look like in there? Gross.
I feel like he's just like a I feel like he's just like the inside of a shell.
I think he's like
With
80
some
worms.
juice. Worms? Ew, no. He's just a cutie.
That would be pretty funny if like Shuckle's arms and legs are literally just like part of the colony of Shuckles.
That's what I think. That's what I think's going on in there. I don't know. Anyway, this one is from.
Wait, we didn't tell people about the Fansers segment.
Right. This is the
Oh.
Fansers segment. This is where we read the fan mail. If you want to respond to anything that we've said today, you can do so by sending your email to thedexcast@gmail.com. That's THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. And then we're going to read it popcorn style, like we are today, on next week's podcast. I know you guys like when everybody reads the emails and not just mush-mouthed old me. So we're just going to jump in. First one's from Soli.
Well,
I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it's Suoly. Suoli. Hey, Alex, Kells, Jimmy, etc. Just wanted to start by saying that though I've consistently bought every main series Pokemon game, but the way XY favored shiny graphics and multiplayer innovation over the single player storyline really made me bummed out. Along with the way Oros removed all the backtracking. All of this made me feel like an old man Gen 1er, but for generations 4 and 5. I started to lose the joyful fanaticism I used to have, but seeing you guys' enthusiasm and explaining how deep and fascinating all the new Pokemon are, along with your theories presented in the podcast, has really invigorated my love for Pokemon. I feel like a kid again back when I got my first copy of Pokemon Gold and was so curious and excited for every new detail. So thank you guys so much. I realize that this is turning out to be a seriously #long email. It's not.
not even at all.
Everybody writes on their phone and they're like, oh, I wrote a novel. So you don't have to read it on the show for any reason, but I really wanted to let you guys know how much more rich you guys have made my experience with the series.
Aw.
On to the Fansers. I think alchemy is clearly a big deal in Sun and Moon, and I think Solgaleo's design is super perfect. That having been said, aside from being silver, moon, I can't help but wonder what significance Solgaleo's bat form could mean. I
You
feel
mean
like
Lunalis?
I feel like people have largely been ignoring this design and its potential meaning, perhaps due to the fire type outrage, but still, what are your thoughts on #Moonboy? I myself am at a loss for any alchemical significance, which is a bummer since I think his space wings look super cool. I just want him to be as smart as he looks. Anyhow, thanks again, and sorry for the long email again. It's not long. Love, Soli. I believe, literally, the title of this email is Alchemy and Lunala, so I think they just wrote the wrong.
Yeah. Can I
that's
touch on something real quickly that he said before he got to like the Fansers portion?
Sure.
Which was, I think it's interesting that you voiced a complaint about them getting rid of the backtracking in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because I actually find the backtracking in Ruby and Sapphire to makes the game almost unreplayable for me, at least.
I think they mean after the game.
You mean like post game stuff? But there was like more post game in Oros than there was in Ruby Sapphire, in my opinion. But I feel like backtracking and having to like walk everywhere.
But compared to Gen 4 or Gen 5, where it's like
I
basically
understand
after you
that.
beat the game, you like go through the entire world again.
Yeah, I guess I understand that.
Like they were saying like, I feel like a Gen 1er for Gen 4 and 5.
I see.
And I get that. I like definitely there's not a lot to do in X and Y compared to some of the older games because of the tech. And Oros, I think, remedies a lot of that, but I could see. I think I like Oros a lot more than most people do, so maybe that's why. But you didn't.
Regarding Lunala, though,
yeah,
the only thing that I've like been able to dig up so far about it is that like the Hori bat is a bat native to Hawaii. I know that Silver and the Moon are alchemically tied together. They like represent one another, but I don't know. I don't know enough about alchemy yet to know if
we also don't know enough
something.
about Lunala yet.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
That's also
I'm
true.
taking a cursory glance at a list of alchemical symbols right now.
Anything jumping out to you that looks like a big scary bat?
Oh, well, no, but Silver 2, Silver 7, to some extent Silver 8 all seem to be crescent shapes. Silver,
yeah.
There's 7 and 8. 8's probably a stretch. And then, of course, Silver 2 is like actually just a crescent moon.
The one for Skull is kind of crescent
Yeah.
shaped as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But, you know, with Litten having the Sulfur 5 symbol pretty much being its face. And what's the one that Solgaleo has?
It's
Solgaleo
literally
is
just a
just,
line
like,
eating the moon that means
the sun.
like, eating the sun that means transmuting.
Okay.
metals or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should keep an eye out for others. Like perhaps
It's all really good into
Vikavolt?
alchemy.
Vikavolt, or maybe like the other starters have some sort of alchemical
yeah.
thing.
I think that all these new Pokemon have very distinct shapes to them. We could
I think
find some more
it'd be
stuff.
weird for them to have 2 legendaries that are alchemical and 1 starter that's alchemical.
Yeah, same.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Maybe we'll find it in the
Later,
evolutions.
yeah.
But speaking of Pokemon analysis, this is going to be Kelly reading an email from Samantha called "Oh My Gods: Tapu Koko and Hawaiian Mythology."
Oh, this sounds exciting. Hey, Alex, Kells, Jimmy, and potential guest. How are you guys? I'm Samantha, and I've been an avid follower of the
Good.
Dex since last December, but I've only been listening to the Dexcast for about a month now. What?
I said I'm good.
Oh, good. Nonetheless, I really like it. It's nice and chill and relaxing. Happy face with a little W with whiskers. Very cute. Thank you for all your work, really. It's much appreciated. My favorite episode of the Dex by far has been the Dragonite episode. The Amugi myth is one of my favorites, and I somehow never made the connection between it and Dragonite line, and if it weren't for y'all, it would have probably continued to slip my mind. So again, thanks. X apostrophe capital D for a squinty-eyed happy face. She's very expressive with her emoticons, and I'm enjoying it.
I appreciate that.
Since Hawaii has been confirmed as the inspiration behind the new region, I've been reading extensively into Hawaiian myths, history, and culture, and when Tapu Koko was dropped last week, a spoiler I actually didn't want, I think it would have personally been a lot sweeter to meet him in the game without any launch beforehand. I understand, same happy face with the X and the D. I instantly thought of the Hawaiian god Ku, one of the big 4 gods in Hawaiian mythology, and after revisiting his lore, I feel even more confident that Tapu Koko takes a lot of inspiration from him. I wonder, since there's 4 islands, if it's going to be like the big 4 and it's going to be a legendary quartet instead of trio.
That would be interesting.
Interesting.
Cool.
Okay, anyway, back to the email. Ku was a fire god and is often depicted as being a feathered deity. He represents the sun and was also a war god, which I find is an oddly coincidental connection to the battling/ritual offering the player and Hao go through at the beginning of the game.
Isn't there some sort of like helmet? Some sort of Polynesian like war helmet that looks like this? Yeah.
Winky face with a tongue out. And if you took pictures of him too, his color scheme very closely matches Tapu Koko, the god Ku. There's also another god I found that could be more closely connected to his typing, the thunder god Haikili, although I'm still looking into him because there's not really much info to go around concerning him. Wikipedia literally just says he's a thunder god and that's it. X apostrophe D. Anyways, I think this email is getting long enough. Not super long. I'm actually writing this on a desktop. Happy face with the D and the X. If you happen to read this, thank you very much. I can't wait to hear what you all think. Have yourselves a great week, Samantha. P.S. Also, the sun is to morning, is to roosters, is to Tapu Koko's shell and crest. Thoughts?
Morning
XD?
sun rooster guy. Got it.
Thank you. First of all, thanks for all the info.
Yeah,
That's
great email.
That's a lot of good email info. Yeah, I think somebody had pointed out the rooster ties in with Tapu Koko, and I think that like all of that stuff is just kind of like amalgamating together, and I think that it totally ties in with sun, like our associations of the sun with morning and roosters.
I always,
and all that
yeah,
jazz.
I always thought that like maybe now that like there's a little bit more like sort of like attention being paid to their design, like maybe they're just like, oh yeah, try this now. Look how good we can be with our designs.
I wonder if that's just Omori. It's Omori, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if it's just his like his vision for
The director?
Pokemon designing. Hmm.
Yeah, he directed Oros too, right? Yeah, I think that maybe that's the flavor of Delta episode.
Yeah.
Do you think that Vikavolt is an alligator clip?
Kind of, absolutely. I don't know how jagged his mouth is. I can't remember from
It's
memory.
pretty jagged.
Yeah,
Like,
but like yeah, like that's definitely going to be in the Dex episode.
Stag beetles also do have like a pretty jagged.
Right, but it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
stag beetle that's an alligator clip.
True.
Yeah, because it's like
Stalligator.
stalligator.
Stalgator.
Stalactite.
Stalag beetle.
Stalag.
beetle. I want that.
Oh.
All right.
That'd be neat.
Thank you, Samantha, for the email.
That
Thank
email
you.
was rad.
That was a good
this,
one.
This next one is from Meta Tony, and it's called Alchemy and Gen 7 Ideas.
Ooh.
Metatony.
Metatone.
Metatone. Anybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you guys played Undertale? It's this little.
No.
This is cute.
Under-
indie
What is
game.
it?
Okay. Sorry. Dear darling Dexcast, your biggest star and fan, Metatony here. After the discussment last week about how alchemy seems like it will play a big role in the theme for the new games, I had an interesting thought I would like to share. Relates to your guys' idea about how Pokemon change themselves to fit living with humans, examples being Jirachi and the Vanillish line. To go along with Chris's idea about the villains for games, what if the villainous team feels the humans have corrupted the very essence of Pokemon to the point where they have evolved to for our own ideas and traditions? Their goal is to revert Pokemon back to their purest essence, maybe to then mold them to their own image in a display of irony. Just a thought you guys might be into. I'm glad you guys have been going for over 100 episodes, and here's to many more. Also, loved you on the co-optional cast, Alex. You killed it, darling. Sincerely yours, Metatony, hashtag thanks Dexcast, hashtag death by glamour, hashtag death by Dexcast.
It's always nice to get an email from such a big celebrity.
Thank you for the email.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think that theory is spot on. I think that that's a very obtuse theory that I put together that is going to prove to make sense in the story of Pokemon, which is that human belief and human ideas inform the design of Pokemon in
that they change to
in a direct way,
Right.
like they adapt to us. And I think it's kind of like a great twist on conservation that's going to teach it. Like if that's true, it'll be great because it's like still kind of like a conservation message. It's also kind of like parallel to like the plight of Hawaii in real life, which is that their culture is just kind of getting erased
Yeah.
slowly. There's just so few people who speak that language anymore or anything like that. I think it could be solid. I think it would be a good thing, and it would give us a window into like some serious answers about the nature of what Pokemon are. And hopefully that's what they start answering. And if this is really the last game, that would be a great thing to
go out on.
go out on.
There's no way.
But I don't think it's going to be. Thank you, Metatony, for that email. That was tight. This next email is going to be from what is it? How do I? Sean. Great. Okay. I never want to like reveal somebody's name if I don't
Yeah,
want to.
of course.
This email is called "No Megas for Sun and Moon, Please." What's up, people reading this / people to whom this is being read? Here's some data that makes me not want them. 48 megas total, which accounts for 7% of all Pokemon ever. Yes. The more Pokemon they add to the games, the lower that percentage will be, but there are some problems here. Either A, they just keep adding new megas to the games forever, or B, they just keep the old megas and tack on new form gimmicks in each new generation that include different mons. In case A, megas would be less special. Older generation Pokemon getting the mega treatment means that they would have to compete with the already overpowered megas that exist, leading to an undiverse short list of megas that we see in VGC, which is my preferred battling system. In case B, there would be way too much going on in battles. Mega evolutions would become something that the developers have to work around in order to smoothly integrate a new system of in-battle form change. The problem, in my opinion, with having a ton of megas is the 100 base stat total boost. I would personally prefer it if there was a less powerful form change that is acceptable to a lot of Pokemon that you could have for one Pokemon on your team. My idea for a new form change mechanic would only be a small improvement or just a strategic difference with no numerical benefit. I attached a text file with more expanded thoughts in this if you want some numbers. I hope the Keep Mega Evolution Camp can hear me out on this. So what do you guys think? Sean, hashtag Pokemon Fusion maybe, hashtag Fuse Me Up Scotty, hashtag I'm open to it, hashtag Execute Mega Kangaskhan. Well, here's how I feel. I feel like there is a good game that could come from adding more megas to Pokemon. I think there's a good, fair game that could come from that. And already right now, you can only have one Mega Pokemon. And as long as the designs of the Mega Pokemon are as diverse and interesting as the normal Pokemon, like in terms of battle mechanics and whatnot, like I still believe that there's a bunch of Megas out there that people don't even really understand how to use. Like Sableye, for example. Mega Bannet, yeah. Like people just don't really use them in any uniform way.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure, like they do in some circles, but less so than a lot of the other ones. And I think that there's, I don't think that there's like, I don't think that like adding anything to the game is like going to spell certain disaster for the game. I think it's a lot sloppier to add a bunch of new types of changes to Pokemon, if that makes sense. Like I think it's weird to like, sorry, Wally like really wanted to get picked up.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of like muckiness already, even with just the primal reversions. It's like kind of weird.
Primal reversions and the Giratina, like Grizziosorb.
Those things I don't
like-
mind as much, but like something that's like across the table of Pokemon, like like primal reversion is like exactly like Mega Pokemon, whereas Grizzlius Orb or something like that just literally changes what the Pokemon does. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
Like, I think that if I had to choose between the two things, I would just say add more Mega Pokemon. But does there need to be Mega Pokemon? No, I don't think so. But like, it's weird that there would be like some and then none.
Yeah.
If we're trying to have an active metagame.
True. But at the same time, it doesn't totally not make sense that maybe there's not anymore because Mega Pokemon is really a Kalos thing. And then if you watch our Rayquaza episode and believe in that theory, like it could just be like a Kalos and
Well,
Hoenn thing.
but it also could be this entire planet has them.
True.
And the other entire planet doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the Earth rotates
That's true.
on its axis.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that if they're gonna keep adding megas, I would prefer if they did it while adding new Pokemon. So like,
Oh
I
my
wouldn't
god,
wa-
absolutely.
like the Oros situation specifically was something that I liked the megas that they added, but you know, because it was a remake, I didn't expect them to add new Pokemon. But if they were to do like, you know, another Gen 7 game, I suppose, and add more megas in that, I'm not sure how I would feel about that. As long as they keep expanding the main roster so that the percentage doesn't go above like 10% of Pokemon have a mega, I think I'd be okay with it, you know?
Because here's the reality about competitive games.
I don't, just for the record, I don't even really care about impact on competitive.
I'm just trying to speak to what he was.
Right, yeah.
Here's the thing about competitive games. There's always going to be a best.
Yeah.
Street Fighter has its tier list. Pokemon has its overused Pokemon. Like, I don't know, there's like probably a right gun to use in like Destiny or Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like Counter-Strike has its like correct builds. You know what I mean? Like there's some that are the right way to do it, and then there's a lot more that aren't.
Right.
Pokemon's the same way. And I think that we shouldn't be valuing Pokemon purely based on their prowess in battle. And that even Mega Pokemon even like, shouldn't necessarily just be judged by how good they perform. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel you.
And like, yeah, I'm with you on the Oros thing, like adding more megas. I get why they did it. It makes sense. But I hope that they add a bunch of new Pokemon in Gen 7 and that like some of those also have megas as opposed to what they did in Kalos, which was just like, here's like a bunch of new Pokemon and then here's like, we're revitalizing a bunch of old ones. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be cool if there were Pokemon who had megas built into their design so that it's like, seems more natural or something. I think that would be a clean way to like mitigate a lot of that feeling of like, megas just ruin old Pokemon.
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if they just were like made Gen 7 similar to Gen 4 and just tacked on a bunch of pre and post evolutions, non-mega, to stuff that doesn't have a full line, you know?
I love that. I love that idea. What are you doing, Wallace?
Wallace is like trying to like kick the table over right now.
Yeah, please don't do that.
He's literally like smaller than a cat, so there's no way he could kick the table over, but
he
he's
just
trying.
wants to ruin this podcast. All right. Here is another email. This one is from someone that I don't know how they want me to refer to them. So I'm going to just call them. I'm just gonna let you read this email.
The body of the email.
Yeah.
How about first name only?
It's a very distinctive first name, so I say maybe not.
You know who you are. If
Yeah,
you
you know
read
who
this
you
email.
R-N. Hi, all humans, ghost and pup boy. Remember me, the retired fanatic? Well, when I heard you guys reading my email with a guest, too bad that Jimmy is not there, was not there. I almost fell off the toilet. They were on the toilet. And then they wrote a little emoji guy with like whiskers and like the 2 carrots. So it was like, anyways, you know how a few episodes ago you guys talked about Pokemon you can interact with in the overworld similar to Heart Gold and Soul Silver? I like that idea a lot and hope maybe they could bring it back. Now imagine a Wailord following you. Also, can you guys make a Let's Play series on the channel? Pretty please. Now, lastly, do you know that someone made trainer sprites of Overwatch characters and what Pokemon they should use? I will insert the pics. That is very funny. There's a Winston and he's got a Slaking. Hold on, let me. Roadhog has an Emboar. Farah has a Lucario.
Perfect.
Nice.
Zenyatta
Mm-hmm.
has a. I'm looking at Jimmy. Has a Mega Alakazam.
Okay.
Pretty
Um,
perfect.
I would have gone
that's actually-
Medicham.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Bastion has a
Medicham is-
Genesect and a Pidgey
Okay.
Bastion has a Genesect.
and a Pidgey.
Literally, it's just a robot with a gun on its
It's
back.
literally just like a Bastion
It's
Pokemon.
Bastion.
Symmetra has a Porygon. Diva has a Plusle and Minun. Lucio has a Loudred. Tracer has a
Nice.
Pikachu. Reinhardt has a Aggron, and that looks really cool. Zarya has a Machamp.
Okay.
Torbjorn has a Clink. Very cute. Very, very cute.
They nerfed
And
him.
and then
He used
there's
to
like a
have a
little
Clink
webcomic about Pokemon Go, but unfortunately on the phone it's too small for me to read the dialogue, but
It's
we
okay.
will read it a little bit later
Yeah.
on. Very cute though.
Great.
Can we make a Let's Play series on the channel? Pretty please.
One time
We did.
Kelly made a Let's Play
A
on the
Pokemon
channel.
Snap.
Pokemon Snap. You can go check that out. There's like what, 10 episodes or something?
True.
It's nice
I
and
think it was
clean.
about 15.
We're not ruling it out
Oh,
in the
really?
future, but like it's unlikely that we're gonna do like a Nuzlocke or like that kind of stuff because that market is already like pretty saturated with the people that do that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Dex was always a show to fill like a niche that like isn't filled, you know?
yeah.
Right.
And so we like putting the podcast on there, like no, there wasn't really any Dex or Pokemon podcasts or any like big ones. Like we
uploading to
aim
YouTube.
to make stuff that you can't already find elsewhere.
Yeah, like there's no point in us doing the same thing everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to, that's our niche. If there is a niche for us, is to provide something that's actually useful and not just following a trend.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that we're belittling anybody who does do Let's Plays.
Yeah,
It's just
and-
like,
But like that's their professional thing that they do, and so like us doing that
it's more
when
about
like
them.
our
It's
thing
more
is
about
different.
them. Like we're
Like
more
that's the
about
kind of content that they want to make.
we're more about the facts
Mm-hmm.
and the research, less so than our own personalities. At least in our head spaces. I know that because we're on the because we're on the camera, it's like it's hard to divorce the two things. But like yeah, like for us, it's much more about the content in the episode than the fact that it's us who's giving you the information.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're gonna do one last email here from Sam. It's called Pokemon Equality and Sun and Moon Hype. Jimmy's gonna knock it out for us.
All right. So this email is by Sam. It says, "Hello, Dexcast and possible guest." I said that because it's hello spelled with an A.
Hello.
Hello. I love your podcast and I've been listening to it for a really long time. To be precise, since
30
episode
years.
97.
97?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean that's at least 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking about rock types and how cool it would be to have a viable rock type in OU or UU that isn't Mega or Tyranitar. Come on, Pokemon Equality. Another thing on Pokemon Equality, one of my favorite Pokemon is Emboar, but people seem to hate him. It's not
Who?
his fault.
Emboar.
Emboar.
Oh.
It's not his fault he was the third firefighting starter in a row. I hate when people rip up Pokemon like Garbodor. Pokemon are like people. Some of them are beautiful and some of them are ugly, but they all just love beating each other up. I can't wait for Sun and Moon, #Team Litten. There are so many things they could do with it. One thing no one has been talking about are the evil teams. Well, we actually got one person talking about it earlier. What if we had another Team Magma or Team Aqua plot where one team wants to be night forever and the other team wants it to be day forever? But the team that wants it to be night forever tries to catch Sol Galeo, so he will devour the sun, thus making it night forever, and the team that wants it to be day forever tries to catch Lunala, so it can't call the moon, making it day forever.
Interesting.
Even though making it so the moon doesn't come out doesn't make it day forever. So blah, blah, blah. They put that in parentheses.
Right.
Just an interesting idea I was thinking about. Lunchcast made me hungry, but sad face, there are no In-N-Out burgers near me. Also, I've heard theories that there's going to be something like Mega Evolution in Sun and Moon, but the artists are lazy and didn't want to draw a Mega for all of them, so they just get a stat boost. What are your thoughts? Personally, this sounds boring to me. I love the Mega art. I think the new Pokemon so far look awesome. I rate all of them 4 to 5 stars out of 5, and sorry to disagree, I don't think the legendaries look over-designed, but that's just how legendaries are supposed to be.
I feel you.
I think they both look freaking amazing. Can't wait for more Dex podcasts. #Team Litten. #Pokemon Equality. #Typhlosion needs a Mega. Is it long? #if it is, sorry. Dex is best. Sam.
long.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. You know, I haven't heard that rumor about Pokemon having just like stat boost.
I haven't heard that
However, I really, really highly doubt that the reason for it would be that the artists are lazy and didn't want to design more megas.
Yeah.
I think there would probably be some other
It's probably
mechanic
because they're not going to design 700 megas.
Yeah.
True.
It's not like laziness. It's like that's money.
Yeah.
But what if? This is my theory. This is my new theory now. Okay. What if, because you know how Rotom, like I was saying, like maybe the Rotom Pokedex is going to be like a quest, like a bomber's notebook type situation.
Yeah.
What if there's no team?
There's no bad team?
No bad team.
What if there's
It's
no,
like a open world kind of game.
yeah, like what if there's no team and what drives the action forward is like little vignettes? Like what if
The
like
post game stuff in X and Y.
yeah, but like maybe like you'll run into like a dude from Team Rocket who's like doing something over here with Team Rocket, or like maybe Team Galactic's like doing some crazy thing with the moon, and there's like then maybe there's like a big bad or something behind the scenes, or maybe it's something to do with that girl.
Right.
Like maybe she's like it's like Spectre. Maybe it's like in James Bond how there's like an organization behind the scenes that like runs everything, but you don't see it, and then maybe it's not like a bunch of people who suck at battling wearing jumpsuits. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's interesting speculation, but I unfortunately I really doubt it for
I mean,
Sun and-
unfortunately.
I don't know. I hate to disagree with you, but like I really think that there's going to be a bad guy team because like they're kind of integral to the Pokemon
Are
formula.
Are they?
Yeah.
I feel like they're only there to create a plot outside of the gym thing. And I don't think that there's not going to be a presence felt. I don't think there's not going to be like dudes in jumpsuits running around. But I think like maybe rather than it just being like, all right, now we all have to go to this volcano because they're going to blow it up. Like there's going to be like 35 to 45, maybe 50, 100 things to do throughout the game. That
35, 45, 50, 100, 200.
and maybe
400.
but like maybe 10 of them are like things that move the plot forward or like change things about the environment. And maybe the rest of them are just like things that you can do. I feel like that's a much better vibe for a game like Pokemon, which is about like adventuring around the world and like doing little things.
Right.
I understand that, but like there's been no indication of anything like that.
But there's been zero indication of a team either.
True, but they usually don't like reveal that until like it's almost out, right?
It comes out in what time is it? What would it's July?
Why? It's 5:08 p.m.
It's July 5th.
July
July 6th right now. Like the game's going to be out in 4 months.
Yeah.
There haven't even been like unless it's what's her name who's involved with the team. Like there hasn't been anybody that I'm like that person's like part of it, like a team. And there's been nothing, no indication at all. Like Ruby and Sapphire, inseparable from their teams.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Those games were already out though. There was no real reveal to be
Well, but I
had.
mean, even
I
in,
remember when they
back in the
revealed
day.
Team Flare, but I feel like it was much closer to the release of X and Y.
We'll see. I
this.
feel like they've been conspicuously absent, and I think that there might be more things at play here than just a team trying to eat some slowpoke tails.
How rad would it be if you're like if there's like a mini main quest that like doesn't have to do with the team, but there is a main forward story that you have to go through. there's a bunch of side quests, and then this game is just supported for like, say, a year or two,
Right.
with regularly updating quests that can be like found and unlocked, new NPCs added to the world that just give you a new thing to do.
That's kind of like the vibe that I'm hoping for, something like that.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying like teams are dumb and I don't want there to be teams. I'm just saying like,
It's ripe for changing the formula.
yeah,
Like,
or
they
if
could
there
do
is
it.
a team, maybe they're just part of it, just like one thing of many.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll drive the story and then there's 100 more quests.
Mm.
I don't know. But I think that's enough discussion for today. I think we hit our time. We're doing pretty good. We're a little over an hour 15 right now is where we're at.
Dang.
So guys, thanks for bearing with us through this news heavy week. I
Yeah.
feel like it was a lot of like good AAA news. So
I feel like news is fun.
I'm not feeling too bad.
It's not like we're sorry that there's so much news.
when it's like there's a card that's made out of a bunch of Pokemon cards. That's the biggest card. Like that's less. That's
I thought
less,
that was really cool.
It's cool when you can see the pictures, but it's less exciting than like here's 8 new Pokemon that we love.
That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. If you want to respond to anything we said here, or you want to respond to anything that we said earlier in the podcast, or you just want to send us a story or talk about what kind of megas you want to invent, send an email to thedexcast@gmail.com. That's THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. We'll read them maybe next week on the air. I believe this is going to be the first podcast with commercials. If it's not, that'll be next week, but I'm just trying to prep everybody. We are going to start doing some little ads on our podcast to help support. It's not going to affect the content at all, but we're just going to
You
have
don't
them.
have to buy anything.
No,
We'll just be around.
it's going to be very inobtrusive. But thank you for bearing with that, and I appreciate you guys understanding that we need to do that to continue to do this as our job. Yeah, thank you. We'll see you next week. I'm Alex,
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Pokekels.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Waiter man.